Greetings, it's Cheryl Lightshoe, and this is going to be my last Facebook Live for 2019. I have big things planned for 2020, and I'm going to take a break for the next, probably about the 30th. I'll come back on, start putting some posts up about some things that I'm going to be doing, and I'll talk more about that as we get to the end of this Facebook Live. But today, I wanted to talk about 2020 focus and planning. And originally, when I sat down to write it, I was actually going to talk about my 7-day strategy planning workbook that I did last year. In January, I did a 7-day challenge on developing your strategy for 2019, and then I put together a workbook. And I was just going to walk through that workbook again. But then when I sat down to write what I wanted to talk about today, that wasn't what came to my head. So I'm going to put the link for you in the comments so you can download that 7-day strategy workbook. It's free. So I'll put the link in the comments and you can download that if you so wish. And it's very practical. People said it really helped create a lot of clarity for them and got a lot of traction as they went into 2019. But the tools are fairly straightforward. I want to talk about something a little bit different today, and I want to talk about setting your mindset for 2020. Because to me, again, when I sat down to think about this and write about this, we're entering a new decade. We're ending a decade and we're starting another. So it's not just a new year, but it's a new decade that we're entering. And so it really dawned on me of how do I want to think about this next decade of the 2020s, right? 2020 vision. And what it struck me as I thought about this last decade is how negative and how much of a struggle and how much of a challenge the teens have been. It seems like there's just a lot of negative energy out there, from our political climate to just things you read on Facebook. I mean, I think people are struggling with where do they fit, and they're fighting and going back to a lighter energy, lesser energy that is not really serving them well. And even as I was thinking about, well, what does 2020 mean to me, and what is the next decade going to mean to me, it really dawned on me that the mindset that I have is going to influence the strategies that I have moving forward into 2020. So I just think it's been too easy to be in hate and too easy to be in division. It's much more challenging to be in a relationship and to be in compromise. And so I'm setting my sights on having a 2020 with a lighter energy, a light energy, if you will, and seeing how I can share that with others, how I can share that with the individuals I coach and mentor, which I always think I've done, but I want to be even more intentional about that, and intentional about that in my life. So that's what I'm challenging you with today, is how are you going to show that light energy, that higher level of compromise and thinking as you move into 2020? And how is that going to influence your business? For most of us solopreneurs, the business is you. So it has to start with how are you going to honor that, and then how are you going to bring that into your business? So awareness doesn't always mean change. So we can be aware of that, but it should result in new practices, new ways of being, new ways of thinking about yourself. And part of that, I think, is being fully engaged and finding joy in the things that you're doing and getting rid of the things that you're not doing. A couple of months ago, I wrote an email message, and I posted it on Facebook as well, because I ended up at the end of October having a tripping when I was on vacation. I broke my kneecap, I dislocated my elbow, and fractured my elbow. And it changed everything about what I could prioritize, the things that I would get involved in, because I couldn't drive, I couldn't hardly move, I couldn't shower, I couldn't do my hair. I needed to rely on a lot of assistance. And so it made me think about what are the things that are really important. This boot camp came out of that, by the way. It was like, it's still really important to me that I touch those solopreneurs and help them bring their light to the world. And if I can do that by offering tools and techniques that I've learned, and maybe even be that flame for bringing that brighter, lighter side of yourself, that is my mission and purpose moving forward. So even in the midst of not being able to move, being pretty dependent on others, I still felt that there was an opportunity for me to do that. And that mindset is what's moving me into 2020. It's part of what when I sat down to reflect on what I wanted to say, it was like, okay, how can we do that? Now, every year I pick a theme message for the year. So this year it was living life with love, joy, and abundance. Okay, and I truly honor that. And that becomes my guiding message for everything I do, whether it's my business work or whether it's my personal work or whether it's interacting with my grandchildren or my children or my husband. It guides everything. And when I do my daily journaling, I actually write that little statement or some version of that statement at the top of every daily page to make sure that I'm focusing that way. So I have picked a couple of statements. I haven't decided quite yet, but I've decided I'm toying with a couple of mindsets that I want to use in 2020. And again, this is what I would challenge you with as well. What is the mindset you're going to approach with 2020 and how will you put it into words? So one I have is calm and gentle abundance. And to me, abundance isn't about things and it's not about money. It's about being able to have impact. And I've also been toying with working with reverence and allowing. There's something in those two words that's resonating with me. So, reverence is a deep respect for someone or something. And I think I have a lot of reverence for the solopreneurs that I work with, a deep respect, because I know what it takes to be there and to build that and to have that passion and energy of something important to you that you want to take forward, and then having to figure out all the tools and techniques to get there. And allowing, the definition I looked up for allowing is give the necessary time or opportunity for allowing. In my type A high achieving mindset, I oftentimes am not patient to allow. And again, that's one of the things that my body is teaching me as I'm healing bones here, right? There's nothing I can do to speed that up. It just is what it's going to be. And so to allow that to happen and not be discouraged by that, not be depressed by that, not be pulled down by that, is a challenge, right? So I don't want you to pick things that are easy, because I think when we pick easy, it oftentimes allows us to go into the dark side and we lose the magic of what it is that we want to do. When we pick something that has shine and sparkle and words that resonate with us as far as our mindset moving forward, it helps us to keep giving that magic back to the world. And it sets you into what you want to feel. I've just finished reading the book, The Alter Ego Effect, which I think is quite interesting. Because what it talks about is, even in sport athletes, performers, they have this fearful side of them. Boy, can I relate to that. Every time I get on the stage, and I've been doing it for 20 some years, every time I get up to speak, there's this little voice of fear that says, wow, today's the day they're going to figure out you don't know what you're talking about. But what he talks about in the alter ego effect is three things: that figuring out who do you want to be like, because inside of us is the opportunity to be that superhero or to be that person on stage that is knocking them dead. Inside of us, each one of us has that opportunity to do that, but it's our mindset that gets in the way. And once you've identified that person, then you need to put them in your pocket. You need to dress like them, act like them, let that alter ego in yourself shine through, get through the fear and the reluctance. He also talks about having totems to remind you of that. One of the things I always had was an outfit that I would wear when I would go on stage. rotated over 20 some years, but there was an outfit that I knew I could be really on track. I looked good. I was powerful in that outfit. Doesn't need to be that kind of thing. It can be a little stone in your pocket, but it's the whole notion that we can be powerful, we can be mindful, and we can be in a place of peace as we deliver the things that we want to deliver. So that's my message to you. I don't know what you will choose as your mindset going into 2020. I don't know how that'll impact your strategy. And again, I'm going to put that 7-day strategy workbook up in case you haven't gotten it before. You can download that, it's free. And then I am going to take a break, as I said early on, until the week of the 30th. So I'm actually taking a few extra days this week and all of the holiday week next week. And then the 30th, I'll be coming back to talk about some things. But on January 6th through 10th, I'm going to be doing a 5-day challenge, free. Again, it's free, because I want to talk about offers and packages that sell. I want to help you really get clear about what it is that you can bring to your audience that you serve and put it into an offer that just sells itself, that people just want to open their checkbooks. Because I know one of the struggles for solopreneurs is, I don't want to sell, and how do I get this out there? Well, we're going to cover that in that 5-day challenge. I will put the link to that in the comments as well for this video so that you can have the opportunity to sign up for that. Everything's recorded. It'll be here in this Facebook group. So if there's, so you'll be able to tap it into it if you can't make it when I do the lives. But I think that's it for now. Oh, update on my broken limbs. I did get my brace off my knee right before Thanksgiving, and that was a great Thanksgiving treat, although my knee needed a lot of physical therapy to help it to work. But today, yay, today I got my arm brace off, yay, so I can move my arm around, but it's going to take probably another at least 6 weeks of physical therapy to get the range of motion back, because you lose that when you dislocate your elbow. So trying to have enough, you can see I can hardly touch my face, have enough so I can brush my teeth and put my earrings in. A little less dependence, but I can start driving now, so this is good. Anyway, I wish you the best of holidays. I'll see you back on the 30th to remind you of moving into 2020. And thanks for joining me today.